Okay, sorry, there was heavy rain, so completely there was a big traffic jam. Uh, so Hyderabad's traffic has become a nightmare nowadays. First of all, you'll find that there is a metro rail construction going on, and then the roads have become very congested. Uh, at the same time, when it rains heavily, it will be a very big disaster. Okay, let's start. Okay, everything comes at one time. When I reached home, I stay in sixth floor, so I have to again. There was no power, no lift. Again, I have to climb all these steps. Okay, fine. Let's start. Where did we stop in the last class? I guess we are talking about memory management, right? And string objects. That is where we have stopped. So as I told you people, string objects are immutable. Immutable means, what does that means? What are immutable objects? Those can, yes, the objects whose content cannot be modified or cannot be changed. Okay, immutable objects are those objects whose content cannot be changed. They're called as immutable objects. And why the string objects are immutable? Because there is every chance that more than one reference will be referring to the same object, right? So because you see, if you use compile time constants, the memory for the objects where it is allocated, if I use compile time constants to create string objects, where exactly the memory for the object will be allocated? Yes. Uh, there is a special memory area, as I told you people. Yeah, you got something called as string constant pool. Yes. Sorry, just a minute. Sorry. Yeah, you got something called a string constant pool, which is basically used for compile time constants. Okay. Yes. What happens if I try to modify the content of the string object? For suppose, let's say, you see, uh, now we have, you see, two branch name variables. You see, branch name variables. You have two copies of branch name variables. Yes. Here, now both the reference variables here, they are referring to the same object. Now, let me do this. Account one, sorry, account dot branch name. So the copy of branch name variable which you got in the first account object, I will do this plus something like this. I'll add it. I'm trying to concatenate that string content. Okay. So, or else I'll do this. branch name. Okay, you see what I'm trying to do? We are trying to append the string here, concatenate the string, and then we'll try to display it. Yes. Okay, we'll try to display it. So let me run this code. Okay, you see it prints mtn branch, sorry, mtn extension. Okay, now account 2 dot branch name. So if I print this, sorry, if I print this statement, what happens? What it prints? What do you people think? I'll print account 2 dot branch name. So what will be the output? So mtn will be printed or mtn extension will be printed. So only mtn. The answer will be only mtn because I'll tell you. So initially, first of all, these two reference variables, branch name, these two copy of reference variables, they will be referring to the same object, string object. I'll show you people. In the memory, initially you have compile, we are using compile time constants. So for that string objects, you'll find that the memory is allocated in the constant pool. So you have that mtn, and you have two variables, account dot branch name. It refers to this object, and you got account 2 dot branch name. Now these two reference variables are referring to the same object. Initially that is what happens, but when this statement executes, so we are trying to append the string content here, right? So whenever we try to append, that object will not be modified, as I told you before, it is immutable. Instead, what happens is, whenever you try to modify a string object, a new string object will be created, and that modified content, that content which you are trying to append or modify that string object, so that modified version of that object, that content will be stored in another object. Okay, now a new object will be created whenever you try to create uh, or modify the object, existing object. Whenever you try to modify the existing object, what happens? A new object is created. That branch to I'm sorry, not branch to, the first one. The first one, branch account dot branch name. It refers to this new object, account dot branch name. Okay, so the updated string object content will be stored in this branch name variable. That's it. Okay, so this is what happens. So whenever we try to modify the string object, a new object is created, and that changes will be stored into that new object. Okay, that means if the string object is modified 10 times, so how many string objects will be created? If I create, if I modify a string object 10 times, and how many objects will be created? 10 objects will be created. If you modify string 10 times, if you modify string 10 if you modify the string object 10 times, 10 string objects will be created, new string objects. Every time you try to make any changes to a string object, a new string object is created. That is what happens. Okay, so that means, don't you think there is a drawback or limitation for this? Don't you think there is a drawback here, a limitation? So if there is a requirement to frequently modify the string objects, then what will happen? That is going to be an issue, right? So hope you people got it. So that's the reason why you will find that each time you try to modify, because we have this issue, each time we modify the string object, a new string object is created. Because of this, another class is provided. Whenever you got a requirement where you need to frequently modify the string object content, if there is a requirement to frequently modify the string object content, in that case, you have to go with string builder or string buffer classes. You can use string builder or string buffer. You can use string builder or string buffer classes here. So these two objects, these two classes, I can say that even they are used to store string content. The way we use string class objects to store text content. Similarly, string builder and string buffer can be used to store string text content itself. But the main difference is string builder and string buffer are mutable objects. They are not immutable. They are mutable. You can modify them. So there is one difference between string builder and string buffer. So, but it is too early for us to talk about it. Definitely when we talk about thread programming, you'll come to know about it. But as of now, let me show you people. So you got string builder class. Both are in lang package itself. String builder. You'll find that, okay, this is string builder class. Okay. I'll show string buffer. So you'll notice that string buffer methods, most of the methods are synchronized. Actually, string buffer objects are called as thread safe. Please make a note of it. As of now, just make a note of it. What is it? String buffer objects are thread safe. String buffer objects are thread safe. Thread safe. String buffer objects are thread safe. Thread safe. Okay. String builder objects are not thread safe. What is thread safety? In the thread programming, you'll come to know about it. Okay. Yes. As of now, I'll just brief you people. Thread safe object means an object, if it is thread safe, at any given point of time, only one object can, only one thread can operate on that object. If an object is thread safe, at any given point of time, only one thread can access that object. Okay, we'll be able to manipulate that object here. Only one thread can modify that object, only at any given point of time. More than one thread cannot access that object. At any given point of time, only one thread will be able to access synchronized thread, synchronized object, or thread safe object, I can say. Only one thread can access a thread safe object at any given point of time. So if you want, you can make a note of it. If an object is thread safe, 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 then at any given time, at any given point of time, if an object is thread safe, then at any given point of time, at any given point of time, at any given point of time, only one thread can operate on that object. At any given point of time, only one thread can operate on that object. Okay. If the object is thread safe, then at any given point of time, only one thread can operate on that object. At any given point of time, only one thread can operate on that object. Okay. Yes. Now let me show you people. Here, uh, when we talk about string builder, we'll use string builder. I'll use string builder. Better use string builder. Let's say str1. Actually, for string builder, there is no constant pole concept. Okay, the constant pole is not applied for the string builders. The only way you can create a string builder object is this way itself. You cannot use compile time constant. You see, I can't do this. Let's say hello. We can't do this. It won't work for string builders. Okay, only for only for string class it applies. Okay, compile time constants. And memory always for the string builder and string buffer will be allocated on the heap itself, only on the heap. Yes, you see, if I create a string builder object this way, So I can just use it to store some text content. Say good morning. Now only one object is created, that too on the heap. Okay, and you can modify this object. Okay, str, you will find methods like append. You can add some content here. Say, how are you? So a new string object is not created in this case. You'll find that the same old object to the same old object, the data will be appended to the same old object. The data will be appended, I can say. Okay, so let me run this code. You see, for suppose, let's say I will declare another reference variable and I will assign that first object reference to this variable. That means str and str1, they both will be referring to the same object, right? And generally, if you try to modify the string object content, a new object will be created. And this reference variable should be referring to that new object. We'll try to append it. Right? This time, let's read that str1. What do you think? Now, str1, what it prints, what str1 is going to print now? It prints good morning, how are you itself. So let's see, because there is only one string object in this case, still you'll get the same output. Okay, a new object is not created. Now str will not be referring to a new object. str and str1 both will be referring to the same object. Okay, I'll show you people. See, it prints. I'm running this once again for you people. Only single object is there. Unlike string objects, a new string object is not created when you try to append or modify the object. Okay, to that existing object itself, the changes will be made. Yes, is it clear for you people? So when you got a requirement where you need to frequently modify the string objects, then you're going to use which class? If you got a requirement where you have to frequently modify the string objects, in that case, which class is better, string or string builder? Is string class better or string builder is better? It's string builder. Yes. Yes. Okay. Hope you people got it. So any questions? Anyone got any questions? Okay, good. So now it is also important to know the methods of the string class. Let's go through this methods. String class has got a lot of predefined methods which are very handy for you people. I'll explain few methods. Okay. So first, suppose now you want to find out the length of the string. If you want to find out the length of the string, so what you'll do, you got a method called as length. Simply call this length method. So it returns the number of characters in the string. It returns a number of characters in it. Okay. Someone has to mute the mic, I guess. Please check your mics. There is some echo. Yeah. See, it prints 13. Similarly, in the string class, we got methods to convert that content to uppercase and lowercase. To lowercase. Yes. Now, to lowercase, you know what this method does? It will it will convert all the characters in the string object to lowercase. That means again a new string object will be created and it is written here. Okay. Yes. See, if you try to again print the exist, if you try to print that MSG, that reference variable, again it prints the whole content itself. You'll find that here the two lowercase method will take that string content and it creates a lowercase. It creates a string or text content with all lowercase characters. Okay, and returns that string object. A separate string object will be created. So original object will be intact. I'll show you people. Run this code. You see, it returns a new string object in which the text content will be in smaller case. But when you try to print MSG again, you see you got that original content. Okay, hope you got it. Now, similarly, you got two uppercase, two uppercase. So what exactly happens here? Let's see. It converts all the characters to uppercase and returns that string object. Next, Now we got trim method in the string class. All are defined in the string class, you see. Trim method, what it does is, it will delete or remove leading and trailing spaces. It will remove leading spaces and trailing spaces. Yes. So leading and trailing spaces means, yes. Yes. So what happens? What do you people think? Leading spaces and trailing spaces means, you see, if there are any spaces before the string, that means characters if the first character is blank space, or if the last character is blank space, something like this, you see, it will remove them. As of now, you see, I've added blank space. Blank space is also a character. It is counted as character. You know, if I try to print the length of the string, what do people think what it prints? So this time it should print 15. So let's run this code. Now actually we'll do this, and now again what we'll do is, here we'll try to trim that string. It returns that new string content, right? Again, on that string content which is returned by the trim, I'll pass it to the length method. We can do this. We can pass that string content written by the trim method to the length method here. Okay, just a second, sorry. Mm, sorry, not this way, just a minute. You know, first this trim method executes. It will remove that leading and trailing spaces, and it returns that string. So that string object reference will use it to call length method again. Okay, we'll use it to call length method. So that means first it should print 15, and then next it should print 13. You see? Okay. Hope this is clear for you people, right? So this is about trim. Now first suppose you want to replace part of the string object. You got replace method. For suppose, let's say I'll do this. MSG dot replace just a minute. So you can replace a character sequence and replace all is there. Let's try to use replace all. Let's say replace morning with evening, let's say. So I'll try to, it will return a string object here. We'll try to print that content, okay? Replace all method returns string object. You see, sorry, what happened? Now that morning, that string content is replaced with evening, okay? Is it clear for you people? Next, if you want to replace a single character, then use only replace method, okay? If you have a single character to replace a particular character with another character, then use replace method. Otherwise, use replace all. Uh, I guess whoever it is from the phone caller, I guess please make sure that your mic is muted. We can hear you. Okay. Next, you can take you can read part of the string using substring method. You can read part of the string. Substring method is there for that. For suppose now, I want to read the string from here, from morning till G, only morning, that not that exclamatory mark, till here, this part of the string. You see, every character in the string will have an index. It starts with 0. So now at 0th index you got G. At first index you got one O, second index O, third index D, fourth index space, fifth index N. Then 6 O, 7 R, N 8, I 9, N 10, G 11. So that means from 5 to 11 I won't read it. But you know, the starting index you'll specify it as 5, but end index you have to specify it as 11 plus 1, always one additional index. Well, that's it. So that means now the substring method, we are asking the substring method to read the string content from 5th index to 12 minus 1 index, that is 11th index. That means till G. Okay, so it reads that morning, that string morning, you see. You'll get morning, that's it. So if I want to read that part of the string, let's say only good. If I want to read good, what should be the index values which I have to pass here? Index starts with 0. 0, 1, 2, 3. You have to pass it from 0 to, it should be 4, because the last index D is at third index, right? That character D is at third index. So it should be 0 to 4. Okay, this is substring. And now, for suppose, let's say I got two string objects. You already know this. So if I want to compare the contents of these two string objects, what am I supposed to do? I want to check whether these two objects have got the same content or not. So we'll use equals method, right? Yes, okay. Say msg1 dot equals of msg2. Yes. So it returns true. Now for suppose let's say if the first string object has got this content, good morning, and the second string object you see G and M are in small case, then what happens in this case? Yes, G and M are in small case. So what happens in this case? So if I try to compare these two string objects, will it return true or false? Hello? Someone has to mute the mic, please. Will it return true or false?
True.
It returns true. You know, Java is case sensitive. Now the string objects are, of course, it will treat them accordingly.
False, false.
So it should be false. You know, the uppercase G and smaller case G are different. So these two strings will be treated as different itself. They are not same.
Yes.
So it returns false. But for suppose, what if you want to ignore the case? If you want to ignore the case, you got another method. Equals ignore case method is there. Okay. Equals ignore case is there. Equals ignore case, what it does, it will ignore the case. It only treats that alphabets now. It will only check for that alphabets. Okay. So is it clear for you people? This way you'll find a lot of methods. Yes. So I've just explained few methods. I want you people to explore the other methods. Okay. Try to explore the other methods. Now, for suppose I have a string this way. You see, in this string we got several words. I want to split the string based on that space. The delimiter, I want it to be space. I want to split the string into substrings or into various tokens, I can say, based on that space. So if the string is divided based on the space, then how many tokens or substrings you'll have? How many tokens or substrings you'll have? Five tokens or substrings, right? So how can we do that?
Yes.
You see, you will find that, sorry, I can use a class called as string tokenizer. It is in util package java.util. Sorry, actually there is no power. I'm unable to view the keys on the keyboard properly. Sometimes it is making an issue. Okay, I'll pass that string object here. I'll do this. So you see what we are doing? I'm passing the string object to the string tokenizer. You know what string tokenizer does? By default, if you pass a string object this way to the string tokenizer class constructor, you see what we are doing? It's a constructor, right? We are calling the constructor, and you're passing that string object. So it takes that string object and divides that string or splits the string based on the uh, space, blank space. By default, it divides it based on the blank space. Now here, you see we got methods to read the number of tokens and all such things. I'll show you. See, count tokens. See, it prints 5. If you want to read these tokens, I'll use while loop. So I'll print them just a minute and I'll explain it. You see, it prints all the tokens. How it works, I'll show you. So you see, first of all, the string tokenizer will split the strings and will store the tokens. And you can read the tokens using these two methods, has more elements and next element. Now has more elements, what it does is it will simply check whether there is any token. Okay, initially it will be placed before the first token. So when you call has more elements, it will check whether there is any token. So if it finds a token, it returns true. For the first time, you see you'll have a token, right? You have good, that is the first token. So it returns true. So if it returns true, now we can read the token by calling next element method. When you call next element method, it returns that first token good. Okay, and we are taking it into a reference variable, string reference variable, and printing it. And again, has more elements, we'll call this method. Again, it will check whether there is any next token. What is the next token? Morning. Yes, there is a token. So again, you can read the token by calling this next element method. So it returns it, and then it places the cursor after the token which is written. After the morning, the cursor will be placed. Now has more elements. When it is called, it will again check whether that is in token. Yes, we have the token how. So when you call that next element method, it returns the token how, and the cursor will be placed after the R. Again has more elements. When you call it, it returns true. You got the token R. So this way, one by one, it reads all tokens, and once there are no more tokens to read, you see, when you call has more elements, it returns false. That is how it works. So this way, you can split a string based on a delimiter. For suppose, what if I got a comma? So by default, string tokenizer, what it does is, it will split the string based on the comma. It will split the string based on the comma. But if you want the string tokenizer to split the string based on, sorry, by default, the string tokenizer will split the string based on space. Delimiter is considered as space. Please make a note of it. By default, string tokenizer considers space as the delimiter. That means based on the space itself, it will divide the string. By default, string tokenizer considers space as the delimiter. Okay. If you don't specify any delimiter details, by default it considered as space. That's it. Next, here in this case, you see space is not the delimiter. Now we need to explicitly mention the delimiter details here. How you can add a comma, pass that delimiter here. You see the second parameter which you are passing is a delimiter. That means you want that string to be split or divided based on this delimiter comma. Okay. Yes. So by default, it will split the string based on the space. It considers space as a delimiter. But if you want some other character to be used as delimiter, then you can pass that character, whatever it is. You see, the delimiter, we say. Actually, it is called as delimiter. Delimiter means which separates two strings. In this case, it is comma, which we are using here. We want the string tokenizer to use comma. Okay. So is it clear for you people? So can I have yes or no? You run this code, it works the same way now. You see? Okay. So that is about the string tokenizer. And now I hope you got some details of how to manipulate the strings. And I want you people to explore more methods. There are a lot of methods which I didn't discuss, which I can't do here. But at least now you got some basics of it and you should be able to start exploring them. Okay? Yes, fine. So I would like to stop it here a little early today. Okay. So tomorrow, Saturday morning, we'll have a long session. Okay. So from 6:30 p.m. Indian time, sorry, 6:30 p.m. Indian time, we'll meet at our regular time itself. But I will try to make it at least 4.5 hours tomorrow. Okay. Yes. Indian time, IST. It will be for 4.5 hours where we may take a half-hour break. Okay. Yes. 20 minutes break or so. That means minimum 4 hours class. That is what I'm trying to do. Okay. So tomorrow's topics will be streams. Okay. IO streams. No. Sorry. Exception handling. I didn't talk about exception handling, right? So first we'll talk about exception handling. So I'll try to complete this exception handling tomorrow. Okay. Yes. And then we'll be left over with streams and collections. At very basics, I can say will be left over with streams, and then advanced core like collections and thread programming will be there. Okay, and few miscellaneous topics. So I'll stop it here today.